In the first part of this horoscope, we open the hidden side of Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, and Virgo, the signs that often look easier to understand than they really are. We talked about the secret tenderness behind Aries' fire, the deep emotional intensity Taurus hides behind calmness, the complicated inner world Gemini masks with charm, the iron strength behind Cancer's softness, the hidden insecurity beneath Leo's glow, and the private self-criticism Virgo carries behind composure. That first half revealed one important truth: every zodiac sign has an unseen layer, and often the most powerful thing about a person is the very thing they never say out loud. But the second part is where the mystery becomes even deeper. Here we step into the world of Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, signs that are especially skilled at hiding their contradictions behind beauty, intensity, humor, discipline, independence, or dreaminess. These signs are often misunderstood not because they are empty or cold, but because their most important truths live behind carefully guarded doors. Some of them want devotion more than freedom, even while pretending they need no one. Some look calm and elegant while carrying emotional chaos inside. Some appear detached, but remember everything. Some seem strong enough to survive anything, yet secretly long for a love soft enough to let them finally rest. What makes this second part especially fascinating is that these signs are masters of duality. Libra may smile while fighting a storm of doubts. Scorpio may look untouchable while loving with frightening depth. Sagittarius may laugh and move forward while secretly carrying heartbreak across years. Capricorn may build an empire just to avoid revealing how badly they want tenderness. Aquarius may act emotionally distant while quietly craving a once-in-a-lifetime kind of understanding. Pisces may seem dreamy and soft while sensing truths that everyone else misses. This is the part where masks slip a little lower, emotions grow more complex, and the secrets become even more irresistible. If the first part showed us the hidden heart beneath strength, the second part will reveal the hidden storms beneath grace, mystery, freedom, self-control, originality, and intuition. And that is exactly why it may feel even more personal, more surprising, and far more unforgettable. Now we move into the signs that are often the hardest to read correctly. These are the signs people think they understand because of charm, mystery, freedom, discipline, originality, or softness. But the truth is more layered than that. Some of these signs hide their deepest needs behind beauty. Some hide pain behind humor. Some hide longing behind independence. And some are so private that even they do not fully realize how much of their life is driven by what they never say aloud. The second half of the zodiac contains some of the most fascinating contradictions of all. Here, we meet signs who crave deep love but fear losing control, signs who seem detached but feel everything in silence, and signs who look powerful while quietly carrying ancient emotional hunger. If the first half of the zodiac showed us hidden tenderness beneath strength, the second half shows us hidden storms beneath elegance, freedom, intellect, and intuition. Let's open the next 6 secret doors. Libra. Libra is often seen as beautiful, diplomatic, graceful, socially gifted, charming, and effortlessly likable. They know how to create harmony, how to make people feel seen, and how to keep a room from turning tense. On the outside, Libra often looks balanced. But Libra's first big secret is this: they are far more emotionally conflicted than they appear. Their calm exterior often hides an inner world full of second thoughts, silent comparisons, private disappointments, and questions they never ask out loud. Libra can smile while feeling completely torn inside. Their second secret is even more revealing. Libra wants to be deeply adored, not just liked. Because they are so good at being pleasant, elegant, and agreeable, many people assume Libra is satisfied with attention on the surface. But what Libra secretly longs for is much more intense than that. They want someone to see beyond the polished version and still stay. They want someone who chooses them not because they are easy to love, but because they are impossible to replace. Libra rarely admits how much they crave emotional certainty. Instead, they keep things light, beautiful, flirtatious, and composed. This is why Libra can stay in confusing situations longer than people expect. It is not always indecision for its own sake. Sometimes Libra is waiting for clarity to arrive without conflict. They hate the ugliness of emotional chaos, so they may avoid direct confrontation even when their heart is already suffering. They may overthink texts, replay conversations, notice subtle changes in tone, and quietly ache while pretending everything is fine. Libra also has a hidden pride. People mistake their softness for weakness. But Libra remembers when they were undervalued. They remember when someone made them feel optional. And once that wound goes deep enough, Libra can become distant in a way that feels almost shocking. They do not always explode. Sometimes they simply stop opening the door to the most precious part of themselves. The hidden truth of Libra is that they are not just romantics. They are emotional aesthetes. They want love to feel meaningful, beautiful, mutual, and mentally alive. Their biggest secret is that beneath all their elegance lives a heart that is much more desperate for real devotion than they will ever comfortably confess. Scorpio. Scorpio is the sign people love to describe as intense, magnetic, mysterious, private, seductive, and impossible to forget. All of that is true, but it barely scratches the surface. Scorpio's first major secret is this: they are often much more vulnerable than they appear, but they would rather be misunderstood than exposed. Scorpio does not hide because they have nothing to say. Scorpio hides because they know how powerful truth can be. They know that once someone sees where they hurt, where they crave, where they hope, they gain access to something dangerous. And Scorpio does not give access lightly. Their second secret is the one that explains almost everything about them. Scorpio never loves halfway. Even when they try to act detached, even when they withdraw, even when they tell themselves they are done, the emotional reality inside them is usually more absolute. Scorpio bonds deeply, remembers deeply, resents deeply, and desires deeply. They may not speak often about their feelings, but silence does not mean absence. In Scorpio, silence often means intensity without language. Scorpio is also far more idealistic in love than people realize. They are often associated with passion and obsession, but beneath that is an aching wish for complete emotional truth. They want the kind of connection where masks disappear. They want loyalty that does not tremble. They want intimacy that reaches the soul, not just the body. And here's the part they rarely admit: when they do not find that kind of truth, they would rather destroy a connection than live inside something false. This can make Scorpio seem extreme, but for them, false closeness feels worse than honest loss. If betrayed, they do not simply get upset. Something in them transforms. They may forgive outwardly, but inwardly, the emotional chemistry changes forever. That is because Scorpio experiences trust as sacred territory. Once someone violates it, they are never seen in exactly the same light again. Scorpio's hidden pain is that they often want tenderness as much as power. But tenderness requires trust, and trust is the one thing they cannot fake. Their deepest secret is not that they are dark. It is that they are profoundly sincere beneath all the armor. They hide not because they are empty, but because what they feel is too real to hand to the wrong person. Sagittarius. Sagittarius is seen as adventurous, bold, funny, honest, spontaneous, independent, and impossible to keep in one place for too long. They seem like the sign least likely to be weighed down by emotional complexity. They laugh, move, explore, and turn life into a story. But Sagittarius' first secret is this: they are more sensitive to disappointment than they let anyone know. Because they dislike heaviness, they often convert pain into humor, motion, philosophy, or escape. They act as if they have already moved on long before they truly have. Their second secret is even more surprising. Sagittarius secretly fears emotional confinement not because they do not want love, but because they do not want to disappear inside it. This sign craves connection, passion, and meaningful companionship far more than people assume. Sagittarius absolutely wants love, but only the kind of love that leaves room for breath, expansion, discovery, and truth. The moment something starts to feel possessive, manipulative, or suffocating, Sagittarius becomes restless. What they rarely admit is that this restlessness often comes from fear, not indifference. Sagittarius has a hidden need to remain spiritually free. They need to feel that their soul still belongs to them, even in commitment. If someone tries to reduce them, define them too narrowly, or control the pace of their becoming, Sagittarius begins to pull away. But here's the secret: when Sagittarius truly trusts someone, they can be incredibly loyal. Not in a small or dutiful way, but in a wholehearted, joyful, ride or die kind of way. They want a partner who feels like an open road, not a locked room. There is also a soft side to Sagittarius that many never get to see. This sign often carries private sadness about the people, places, and versions of life they have outgrown. They keep moving, but movement has a cost. Sometimes Sagittarius jokes not because everything is fine, but because they cannot bear to dwell too long in what was lost. They protect themselves by staying future-focused. The hidden truth of Sagittarius is that beneath all their freedom, there is a soul searching for meaning, not just excitement. Their secret is not that they are afraid to commit. It is that they are afraid to commit to something that kills their fire. Give them truth, laughter, and space to grow, and they can love with astonishing generosity. Capricorn. Capricorn is described as disciplined, ambitious, reserved, loyal, strategic, and emotionally controlled. They often seem like the strongest person in the room, the one who can handle pressure, delay gratification, stay calm, and keep moving forward no matter what life demands. But Capricorn's first major secret is this: they often carry a tremendous amount of emotional weight in silence. They may look composed, but inside, Capricorn can be holding responsibility, fear, grief, disappointment, love, and exhaustion all at once without showing any of it. Their second secret is one they rarely reveal even to themselves. Capricorn longs for softness more than they admit. Because they are so used to being capable, reliable, and self-contained, they often build an identity around strength. They become the one who handles things, fixes things, manages things, survives things. But beneath that structure is often a very deep desire to rest emotionally in someone safe. Capricorn wants a place where they do not have to perform competence every second. They want a love in which they can lower the armor without being punished for it. Capricorn is also much more romantic than people expect. Not in a flashy way, but in a serious, enduring, quietly profound way. They do not usually fall in love lightly, but when they do, it has gravity. Capricorn thinks long-term even when they pretend not to. They imagine whether a person is reliable, whether the bond can survive real life, whether trust can deepen over time. They do not always talk about these thoughts because they do not like exposing what matters before it feels secure. One of Capricorn's hidden wounds is the fear of being valued only for what they provide. Because they are so competent, people often lean on them. They become useful, dependable, impressive. But usefulness is not the same as intimacy. Capricorn secretly wants to know, would you still love me if I were tired, lost, unsure, not strong for one day? This question lives deeper in them than most people realize. The hidden truth of Capricorn is that their control is often a protection against chaos, not a lack of feeling. They do not reveal their heart easily because once they do, it is serious. Their biggest secret is that under all that restraint is one of the most loyal, tender, and enduring hearts in the Zodiac. But only a few people ever get close enough to see it. Aquarius. Aquarius is often labeled independent, unusual, brilliant, detached, rebellious, original, and emotionally hard to read. They are the sign of ideas, innovation, distance, and defying expectations. People often assume Aquarius lives mostly in the mind and does not need much emotional reassurance. But Aquarius' first big secret is this: they often feel more than they know how to express in ordinary emotional language. It is not that Aquarius does not care. It is that their feelings often travel through unusual channels: ideas, silence, observation, loyalty, principle, sudden generosity, or the strange need to stay close while also pulling back. Their second secret is one that explains their contradictions. Aquarius desperately needs to feel understood without feeling controlled. This sign values freedom almost obsessively, but freedom for Aquarius is not simply about doing whatever they want. It is about preserving the integrity of the self. Aquarius fears being emotionally boxed in, misread, absorbed, or expected to become smaller to keep someone comfortable. That is why they can seem unpredictable in relationships. The more pressure they feel to conform emotionally, the more distant they may become. But here is what people get wrong about Aquarius. They are often deeply loyal to the people who truly reach them. Aquarius may not always show love in conventional ways, but when they believe in someone, that attachment can be lasting. They remember people who respected their mind, protected their weirdness, and gave them room to be fully themselves. Aquarius does not easily forget the rare person who made them feel both free and safe. This sign also hides loneliness behind self-sufficiency. Aquarius can seem completely fine alone, and sometimes they are. But sometimes their independence becomes a shelter from the frustration of not feeling met. They do not always admit how much they want a connection that feels mentally electric and emotionally non-invasive at the same time. They want closeness without possession, presence without pressure, love without emotional manipulation. Aquarius' secret beauty is that they carry a whole inner universe most people never earn access to. Their hidden truth is not coldness, it is selectiveness. They do not open easily because they are searching for something rare, a bond that honors both intimacy and individuality. When they find it, they can be astonishingly devoted in ways nobody expects. Pisces. Pisces is often seen as dreamy, gentle, intuitive, romantic, compassionate, imaginative, and deeply emotional. People think they understand Pisces because they see softness. But Pisces' first secret is this: they are not nearly as fragile as they seem. Pisces can absorb pain, confusion, heartbreak, longing, and disappointment with a strange spiritual endurance. They may look delicate, but they survive emotional weather that would harden other people. What makes Pisces powerful is not a lack of pain, it is their ability to keep feeling after pain. Their second secret is perhaps the most haunting. Pisces often knows more than they admit about people, but stays silent because truth can ruin the dream. Pisces is extraordinarily intuitive. They sense shifts in energy, hidden motives, emotional undercurrents, unsaid feelings, and the difference between what someone says and what they really mean. But instead of confronting every truth immediately, Pisces sometimes waits, sometimes hopes, sometimes chooses tenderness over exposure. They do not always want to destroy an illusion the moment they recognize it. This is not stupidity, it is emotional complexity. Pisces also has a secret inner duality. One part of them longs for transcendent love, soul-level understanding, and beautiful emotional merging. Another part wants to escape whenever reality becomes too sharp, too cold, too practical, or too disappointing. This is why Pisces can seem all in one day and unreachable the next. Their heart moves by tides, and when they feel overwhelmed, they retreat into imagination, memory, art, fantasy, private rituals, or silence. There is also a hidden pride in Pisces that people often overlook. Because they are compassionate, others assume they will accept anything. But once Pisces feels truly betrayed, something holy in them closes. They may forgive spiritually, but emotional access is another matter. Pisces does not always fight loudly. Sometimes they simply drift somewhere you can no longer follow. The hidden truth of Pisces is that they do not just want romance. They want sacredness. They want a connection that feels fated, healing, poetic, and real. Their deepest secret is that they often see the ending before the beginning even starts, and still love anyway. That is their gift and their danger.